Hello everyone, my name is Christian. Welcome to my hobby blog. Today we are doing the first video of this month's Vinegar Syndrome package in 2022. So we are starting the August package, I believe. Not the September one. But this is a pretty big month. We have a box set, we have a VSA, which I think I will be covering, and then we have 3 individual titles, one of which is a double feature. It's a really hefty month coming up. So I'm going to go ahead and just jump into the unboxing. I will not be reviewing any of these films, obviously. I'm just showing the packaging, showing what special features there are, and the general synopsis that Vinegar Syndrome has provided. So without further ado, let's go ahead and begin with our VSA title. And this is one that I have seen before, way back in I think 2017, maybe 2018 on Amazon Prime. It was one of those late nights. It was on. Red Letter Media has covered this movie, so I pressed go and I loved it. And I don't remember anything else about it. This is the film starring Boone the monkey, well, I guess a baboon, but this is the film Unmasking the Idol. This is a very lovely edition. One thing I do remember as I looked at this artwork is that it is a bit of a James Bond clone. As you see here, our main guy in black is a James Bond looking guy with the gun, and he has a pet chimpanzee. I guess it's a chimpanzee, as a sidekick. And there are ninjas involved, and the monkey primate, I guess, I don't even know what species it is, but it drives a tank at some point of the movie and wreaks havoc, and many explosions happen. That is the one part I do remember very well. But this is a VSA title, and of course it's a movie that I love, so they of course had to make it a VSA. So as I watch this more and more, the top here will be slowly torn off, because that's how every VSA title is. So I have to really limit how many times I watch this, and it doesn't really matter how careful I am. The plastic will scrape off. But this is the reversible cover art, I guess the theatrical poster. A lot more James Bond-esque with our guy in a tux, and the monkey is also in a tux holding a pistol. It is awesome. This is only a hint of things to come. I cannot wait to rewatch this movie. But the synopsis that Vinegar Syndrome has written is Duncan Jacks is a world-renowned secret agent and expert ninja. When he's not saving the world from international terrorists, he spends his time training in martial arts with his baboon sidekick. So it is a baboon. I was right in one of my 5 guesses I made. Aptly named Boone. Baboon. Okay, I get it now. I get why he's named that. However, Duncan's new mission may be the most dangerous of his career, when he is tasked with stopping the sale of atomic weapons and defeating a mysterious masked supervillain known only as Scarlet Leader. There he is, on the back. If successful, not only will Duncan escape with his life and save the world again, but he will become rich beyond his wildest dreams after discovering a secret treasure being held in Scarlet Leader's lair. And it says here that it was produced by the North Carolina-based EO Studios, which I've never heard of before. But I feel like there's been a few titles lately from North Carolina that have been discussed. But this is a newly scanned and restored 2K from its 35mm inner positive. I don't know if any of these are really new, they don't say, but there's a commentary track with the director moderated by Phil Smoot, who I don't know who that is. There's a 68-minute documentary on this release that has a lot of interviews with the lead actors, the cinematographer, couple actors, stuntmen, one of which I think they interviewed him, but there's a specific stuntman towards the end of the movie when the baboon is blowing everything up with this tank, where he drives over the stuntman's head, and he looks very pained after the fact. It looked like a really not good situation for that stuntman. So I can't wait to hear what his thoughts are. But there's really not much else, just the commentary, commentary and the documentary. So it's pretty light in terms of the special features, but if it's anything like the other releases, Vinegar Syndromes, where they only have a documentary and a commentary, it's going to be very high quality. You won't really need anything else beyond what those two will give you. So this is a title I'm, of course, very excited to watch. I haven't seen it in 4 or 5 years, but that is Unmasking the Idol. I don't even know if I said the title, but I'm showing this first because, and maybe I mentioned it already in the 6 minutes I've been here, but I don't know if I will cover this or not, but I really want to because this is a favorite of mine that is sort of coming back into my life that I forgot about. And as much as I want to watch, well, not just watch it, but review it and go over this release on this channel, there are a lot of titles that are actually part of the package this month. So I will probably do this last no matter what, but I am keeping it on the table. So I'll do the most hyped to the least, or the least hyped that I am for a release to the most hyped, with the box set being last, of course. But this is one that is quite controversial. I am open-minded to it. A lot of people were upset that Vinegar Syndrome spent a lot of time and money on this. That could have gone to a movie that actually needed restoration and preservation. But this is one that I'm open to because technically I didn't spend money on it. And if I did, if you do the math of how much the subscription costs, I think it'll at least give me some more appreciation for the original. And if you don't know what it is by now, this is the film The Birds 2, Land's End, directed by Alan Smithy. That is a huge red flag for anybody who knows what that name means. Alan Smithy is a name that a director will use to not be credited because they are deeply disappointed or deeply embarrassed to have the name on the project. The most famous example, I think, will be David Lynch's Dune. He used Alan Smithy for the theatrical cut, I believe. But he was deeply embarrassed. He did not get final cut of that movie, so that's why he used it for the theatrical cut. And then I think he did director's cut, but well, maybe he didn't. I'm unsure. But either way, Alan Smithy being on this release is a very big red flag. And this came out in 1994. Okay, for some reason they're talking about 1970s on the back, but this is, of course, the sequel to the original Alfred Hitchcock. I don't think it's a masterpiece, but a lot of people say it is. And I've actually covered it on the Withering Watch pile on the Creature Feature episode, I believe. And I am mostly just upset with how Tippi Hedren was treated on set more than anything. Before I knew anything about that, I thought the movie was just okay. Now that I finished that box set right here, the almost complete Alfred Hitchcock collection on DVD, I think there are a lot better movies in his filmography than The Birds. And so I guess we can't really go any lower because I never really cared for that movie again. But a lot of people are upset that this movie is coming, or came out on Vinegar Syndrome. But there's a pretty good size amount of sorry, there was a fly. There's a surprising amount of special features on here. But the synopsis for this is Ted and Mary have just moved with their 2 young daughters to the sleepy coastal town of Gull Island so that Ted can complete work on his thesis. Sounds a little bit like Rawhead Rex, a much better movie, although nobody likes it, unfortunately. Everything couldn't seem more picturesque about the new seaside home. That is, except for the increasing number of aggressively behaving birds. After surviving an unprovoked nightmare avian invasion, oh my god, Ted becomes determined to figure out the cause of the unusual behavior. An investigation which leads him to uncover the sinister goings-on in the nearby waters. I feel like that's a spoiler for some reason. All the while, the birds increase their now deadly attacks, moving up from family pets to human victims. Right away, I have a feeling that they're going to over-explain why the birds are acting the way they do. I think one of the scariest parts of the original is the fact that there is no reason. One day they just start attacking, and a blue screen follows them a lot to somehow attack the actors. Except for Tippi Hedren, where they used actual birds and threw it at her and scarred her and ripped her face up because of it. But either way, I think they're going to over-explain it. I'm going to also read the second paragraph to see if I get any sort of, I guess, promises of some quality. So one of the handful of direct-to-cable television horror movies produced in the early to mid-90s by Universal, The Birds 2: Land's End, is a jaw-dropping animal attack spectacle from director Rick Rosenthal, the guy who directed Halloween 2, a movie just okay. I don't really have many thoughts on that movie, which stars Brad Johnson from Always, James Norden from Cat's Eye, a Stephen King film, Chelsea Field, Master of the Universe, and Tippi Hedren. Oh my god. I guess, well, she was blacklisted from Hollywood, so she probably did need the paycheck. Never released on disc, Vinegar Syndrome brings this notorious sequel, to Blu-ray, newly restored from its 35mm in a positive and featuring comprehensive interviews with cast and crew. Okay, so some of the special features listed is a commentary track with film historians Amanda Reyes and Sam Pancake. Oh my god. I'm very excited now for that commentary track. I probably will not listen to it, or at least I'll turn it on and go do chores. But there's a extensive making of documentary about this movie called Don't Remake Hitchcock Movies. I love the title of that documentary, which has interviews with the cast and crew. I don't know, they don't list which ones, but they also have an interview with the composer called The Silence of the Birds, which is 17 minutes long. The Location of Birds 2, which is a 11-minute location featurette, which is always fun to watch if you're the type of person to go visit these places in movies. There's a really cool one for Halloween 3 on the Shout Factory release, a cool featurette where they go through all the different locations. And then they have a still gallery and reversible artwork along with English subtitles. This movie is thankfully 86 minutes long, but I'm sure it will feel like 860. Again, this is one that I have no really excitement for. I read that second paragraph to sort of get some sort of excitement in my system for this, but seeing that Rick Rosenthal, who directed Halloween 2, also directed this, and then chose to use the name Alan Smithy, I have a feeling that Universal was all over him, telling him what to do, and wasn't allowed to breathe. But I have nothing else to say. I am not really excited for this. I'll review it, I'll watch it, whatever, but I may get rid of this after reviewing it. So that is The Birds 2, directed by Alan Smithy. This next one I'm a little excited for because the slipcover is awesome and it's a disgusting sci-fi movie from what I've heard, but Red Letter Media recently covered it and it looked very boring to me and they did not like it at all. I think I'll get more enjoyment out of it than they did, but I'm still, I guess, nervous about this release, although I've heard a lot of excitement when this was announced. So this is the film from 1977, one of the best years in film, in my opinion. Directed by William Sachs. I know that name somewhere. But this is the film, The Incredible Melting Man. It's a sci-fi film, obviously. It takes place in space, apparently, because we have astronauts here on the back, which I guess I haven't really shown the back of The Birds 2 yet. Not that anyone cares, but it looks like a lighthouse, I think, is what it is. Doesn't really matter. No one cares. But here we have a pretty cool lone astronaut with like a, I don't know, a light checkpoint thing. But I really like the look of the little zombie, I guess the Incredible Melting Man. Not many people have any thoughts on this. I didn't hear any excitement outside of whatever I heard in the Discord, but I guess I will show the theatrical poster, which is awesome. Even if this was a standard edition with no slipcover, I would still very much enjoy the cover of this. I did flip it around, but okay. So thankfully this movie is also 86 minutes long. I don't know if every movie in this package is, but on to the story. While on the first ever voyage to the rings of Saturn, so it is sci-fi, or space, an unexplained phenomenon takes hold on astronaut Steve West and his crew, burning all but Steve to a crisp. Somehow able to return to Earth. Oh no. I was hoping this movie would take place in space, not Earth. Steve awakens in a hospital bed, only to discover that his body is disintegrating. Worse, he begins to develop an instinctual urge to kill, learning that this is the only way to maintain his strength. After escaping from the hospital, Steve begins to ravage the nearby countryside, brutally murdering all who cross the path and leaving behind a series of mangled bodies covered in his dripping flesh. I have an image in my head now of what this movie is and why I'm not excited for this. They will probably have all the very interesting bits in the first 10 to 15 minutes where they're in space, and the moment that he begins to hunt people and leave the hospital and such, that's when the movie's going to get really bad and boring. And by bad, I mean just boring. I don't want to shit all over, people who worked hard on this, because I know the effects in this movie is supposed to be awesome, because it has the special effects of Rick Baker and one of his earliest movies that he did the special effects on. So that's really exciting, but they say it's a tribute to 1950s sci-fi, and I've always maintained that 1950s sci-fi is very boring because most of the movies in there were made for the drive-in, and people went to the drive-in to have sex and make out. And people making movies at this time, for this, at least in this genre, knew this. And so every 20 minutes or so, they would have a awesome, bloody, disgusting, well, not bloody, because they can't show blood, but they had just really fun, scary sequences. So that while they were making out, they would hear the monster sounds, and they would look up, go, ah! And then go back to making out and having sex. So hearing that this is a homage to that genre puts a lot of worry in my bones. I don't really know any other names in this, except there's an early performance by director Jonathan Demme, who did Silence of the Lambs and many other things, but I know him most as the director of Silence of the Lambs. I hope this is better than I think it will be. I'm definitely open-minded to 1950s sci-fi. It's just all of them I've seen in DVD packs and even on Criterion, The Blob. All of them I don't like. So I really hope this is a outlier. So that is The Incredible Melting Man, directed by William Sachs, who I know that name. I don't know where, but they don't list anything for the actor. But I know that name somehow. So that is The Incredible Melting Man, 1977, best year in film. Okay, so next is the double feature that I am actually very excited for, even if one of the directors is Rene Cardona Jr. And this is a double feature. The other film is by Fernando Duran Rojas. Both of them are westerns again. The first movie, directed by Fernando Rojas, is Hot Snake. Woo! I love the imagery on this. I love the 1970s grindhouse-looking guy with the pistol. I love the horse and the hawks and sparrows and all of that. And then the other film in this set is Gun and Guts, which I have to cover up some breasts here. But this is the Rene Cardona Jr. film. And when it first got announced, I thought this guy was that one. Oh my gosh. I can't believe I forgot his name. Okay. I'm gonna look real quick. I thought it was this guy, whatever his name is. Klaus Kinski. Oh my god, I can't believe it. I can't believe I forgot his name. I thought that was Klaus Kinski for a second, right here, when I first saw this release, and I was very excited. And I don't think his name is in the credits, but on to the, description of what this double feature is. Hot Snake came out in 1976. Guns and Guts came out in 1974. Both are about Hot Snake is 86 minutes. Guns and Guts is 90. So we're knocking it out of the park. No 2-hour movies yet. So fans of the Western genre will agree that the 60s and 70s were the height of the spaghetti Western. I agree with that. Western films produced by Italians that were more gritty and violent than their American counterparts. However, some fans may not be aware that equally violent Westerns were being made in Mexico around the same time. Presented here are two excellent examples, both darker and bloodier bloodier than many of the spaghetti westerns produced during the same time period. Can't believe you had a spelling mistake, Vinegar Syndrome. So first we'll talk about Hot Snake. A sadistic and ruthless outlaw has been terrorizing the town of Hot Snake. Thank God, I love that title so much of the town. It's not like Perfection, which is Tremors, or Water Spring or anything like that. It's Hot Snake. I love that name, sorry. A bounty hunter named Emiliano is hired by the local sheriff to hunt down the outlaw after he murders a woman and steals money belonging to the army. Warned by a local bruja, witch, not to take the bounty, Emiliano soon finds himself the target of a mysterious man who seeks to settle a personal vendetta. Directed by Fernando Duran Rojas, Hot Snake is a dark and atmospheric western with supernatural elements. Oh my god. I had no idea from the artwork. Okay, I can kind of see it now on the bottom. There's like dolls right here. Some weird thing, and a woman with a snake. I don't know what that is, but I am very excited now for Hot Snake. although there is a spelling mistake on the back of this box. Guns and Guts, 90 minutes long. An outlaw and a scorned husband both team up to track down and kill the man that wronged them. Very classic Western plot. Along the way, the two men meet a hired gun that loves money just as much as he loves the company of women. So the two men decide to hire him in order to help them on the mission. However, things become complicated when the men they all seek to kill has risen to become a wealthy sheriff with a small army of gunmen at his disposal. Directed by acclaimed Mexican director Rene Cardona Jr., Guns and Guts is a rough-and-tumble western with an explosively bloody ending that rivals anything created by Sam Peckinpah. Oh my god. There are next to no special features on this release. Here they are. Both of these movies are newly scanned and restored in 4K. Very nice. From the 35mm OCN. Original camera negative, if you don't know. They have one interview on this release. This is the only special feature they have. It's called Gun, Guts, and Family. An interview with Rene Cardona III. Very cool. This will be a very easy release to go through, in my opinion. I'm very excited for this. I need more westerns in my life. I've been on a western kick lately. And just going through the Clint Eastwood westerns and also whichever westerns I can find from Era Video. So this is Hot Snake and Guns and Guts. Released in 1974 and 6, I believe. Yes. Very excited for this release. But there's one more release this month that I have yet to talk about that I am the most excited for. Because this is Volume 5. I don't know how long they are going to do this series. I hope for as long as they are able. This is the Forgotten Jali, Volume 5. I fucking love that artwork. I love the spiderweb. I love the eye at the center of the spiderweb. It's very provocative. You can never go wrong with Forgotten Jali. I always thought Volume 3, I think, or Volume 2. I need to relook at them, but whichever one had the movie The Killer is One of 13. I thought that was my favorite box set until the 4th volume came out, which came out earlier this year, and I've done a review on all those films, and so if you're curious my thoughts, go watch that. But here we are again to discuss Volume 5. The movies include A White Dress for Mariale, Tropic of Cancer, and 9 Guests for a Crime. I haven't heard of any of these movies, and of course it's the same sort of layout as all the other Forgotten Jali box sets. Opens up with this awesome woman and a man kissing or something. The side is, I guess, someone having sex. Maybe I shouldn't be showing that. Oh my gosh, there are breasts on there. And then there's a gun on that side, but here's somebody holding that gun. So there you are. And it slides out and all 3 films are here. So, the first film is White Dress for Mariale. I hope I'm saying that right. The next movie is Tropic of Cancer. Is that a cat? I have no idea, but that looks awesome. And the final film, I guess I can show that, is 9 Guests for a Crime. Pretty interesting front cover, but I will go in order of what I will probably watch them, which is from the first movie to the second to the third, that are listed on the side here. So, the first movie I will watch is White Dress, made in 1972, so very early Giallo film. Lots of names that I recognize on this. Shocking. But this is also 90 minutes. Fuck yeah. We're keeping to a theme here, 90 minutes and below. I'm very, very thankful for that. Not many special features on here, but I'll read the plot synopsis first. When Mariale was a little girl, she witnessed her father murder her mother, along with an adulterous lover. before killing himself. Years later, Mariale has invited a group of friends over for a party at an isolated villa. As the festivities progress, an increased sense of debauchery, hedonism befalls the group, only for the perverse fun and games to be disrupted by the arrival of a mysterious killer. I'm getting out of breath here. Who begins dispatching the revelers in nasty fashion, all to cover up a secret buried deep in the past. I'm going to assume that Mariale is the killer, and that she remembers her father killing her mom and not her. It's a very common trope in the giallo genre. It's directed by Romano Scavolini, who directed Nightmares in a Damaged Brain. Never heard of it. Starring Euro horror icons Evelyn Stewart from Murder Mansion, which I think was in Volume 3. Luigi Pistilli, A Bay of Blood, Mario Bava, and Ivan Rasimov from Jungle Holocaust. Scope photography done by Scavolini, so filmed and directed by him, I guess. But it also comes with Forget This Music, a 20-minute interview with the director. And then they have a 55-minute interview with the actress Ida Jolly. That's a great name. Called A White Dress for Evelyn. And then they have an audio essay by... Oh, wow, this is great. Audio essay by film historian and critic Rachel Nisbet. And delete the scenes, but nobody watches that. So that is A White Dress for Mariale. I guess I'm excited. Reading the cover or the synopsis sounds very tropey, but I think there'll be some fun. It's a jolly film. The next film is A Tropic of Cancer. Made in 1972, so I guess this is a 1972 box set. Directed by Gianpaolo Lomi and Eduardo Melaggia. I really hope I said those names right. Newly scanned and restored in 4K from the OCN. That's good. Has an interview with the writer-director John Paolo Lomi called Sex, Voodoo, and Dictatorship, 33 minutes long. And then an audio essay by film historian and critic Rachel Nisbet. So, very exciting. A little light on the features, but I think that's okay. I'll switch around the artwork when I review these. So, that is The Tropic of Cancer, also 1972. Oh, and then I got confused. I'm sorry. The next film and final film of the set and of this package is 9 Guests for a Crime. Looks like some good old sexploitation. Directed by Ferdinando Baldi. I actually know that name from somewhere. I see it now. I see who he is now. So, the synopsis is 9 members of an extremely rich and hateful family have decided to have a month-long reunion on a remote island in the Mediterranean. I don't know who agreed to any of that if they are all hateful of each other, but no sooner than their arrival, old grudges, resentments, and feuds make themselves known, as everybody predicted, along with allusions to some more macabre events in the past. But when the boats are torched, thus stranding them without any connection to the mainland, it becomes clear that someone is not willing to let old wounds heal, a fact made all the more clear as bodies start to pile up. It says one of the many gialli loosely adapted from a Agatha Christie's landmark novel, 10 Little Indians. And the director directed Texas Adios, which is the unofficial sequel to Django. That movie is a lot of fun. Do not think of it as a sequel to Django. It is so cheesy. It is nonsensical. None of the characters make sense. None of the story beats make sense. It is pure, I don't know. It's like it was made by an alien from not of this world. It is a really bizarre film, so I really hope this one is too. Uh, it stars John Richardson and Black Sunday and other Mario Bava, five-time Oscar nominee Arthur Kennedy from Lawrence of Arabia, and Italian character actor Massimo Foschi from Jungle Holocaust, and a lot more. And featuring a score by Carlo Savina, The House of Exorcism, which I've never heard of. But the special features on this release is another interview that is 27 minutes interviewing the actor Massimo Foschi. Pretty cool, 27 minutes. And then another audio essay by Rachel Nisbet, 15 minutes long. So I'm excited, I guess. I really hope it's as nonsensical as the Django sequel, unofficial sequel, Texas Adios. I don't have any, I guess, tell whether these movies will be good or not. Nobody has talked about them, at least from what I've seen. So that is it for the package. And just to show it off again, because I love it, this is the Forgotten Gialli Volume 5. Very excited for that release, but this is actually quite a long unboxing video. But I don't know what I'll watch first, but I'll put it on my watch table in the room by the TV, and I will do what I can to go through each of them, research, and just try to give the best review that I can. So that is the August 2022 Vinegar Syndrome package. We are almost done with the year. We only have, I think, 4 more packages after this. So I kind of hope for the December package that they do Rare Exports, which is a Swedish film or a Finnish film somewhere in Northern Europe. But that would be a really great 4K release by Vinegar Syndrome. So thank you all so much for watching, and if you haven't subscribed or liked the video yet, please do so. It really helps the channel. And if you haven't noticed already, I'm on Twitter now. My Twitter handle is Christian's Hobby. Spelled the same way as my channel, HOBBI. But they wouldn't let me add in the blog at the end, so I'm just Christian's Hobby. So good luck finding me. I'll try to post something on Instagram about it, but thank you all so much for watching, and please have a great rest of the day.